Yo, what's going on, guys? My name is McDuck33 and welcome back to another Far Cry video. Far Cry content is kind of dry now. I don't really know what to upload. So first of all, if you guys have any suggestions, be sure to put them down in the comments below. Also, specifically relating to this video, you might know what the title is. Actually, you should know what the title is. And this is just the 4 main games. If you would like me to make a full review of all the Far Cry games, then first of all I'd have to play 1, which, oof, that could take a while. But beside the point, if you guys don't want me to do 1, then I can do that. You guys just need to tell me down in the comments below. Now, let's see. I think that's all the stuff that I really need to say. Go check out my other channel, McDuck Borderlands. That's where I post Borderlands content. I'm going to be posting something today, or actually yesterday, when this video is going to be posted. But yes, that is beside the point. Without further ado, that's all my little announcement thingies. Let's get into the video. So, starting off, we're actually going to take a look at each individual Far Cry game, give it a score out of 10, and then we're going to rate the whole series based on that. So, Far Cry 2, so we're starting with Far Cry 2. Far Cry 2 is, how do I say this? It's interesting. It's an old game, and that's what I wrote down in my notes, which isn't very helpful. It's an old game, but it's still a good game. Like, it's by no means a bad game. It's just that it's a bit too old for my liking. It had some stuff that I felt was really hard to get used to. And it was a difficult game. It was a very difficult game, and I feel like old games are difficult, or at least more difficult than newer games, because you get into this habit of using mechanics that aren't in the older games, and, well, yeah. The gunplay is pretty similar to every other Far Cry game. Like I said before, it's a lot more difficult. You get these healing things, these little healing packets, that are basically healing syringes. They heal you all the way up to full health, I believe. It's been a while since I've played the game, but I do believe that they heal you up to full health, which is good, but once you run out of them, then, you know, you're kind of screwed. It does have, I wouldn't say character customization, but it has a character selection, so there's like, 9 different characters that you can choose from, and yeah, it's overall pretty good. The story of the game is, well, let's just say that it's confusing. I didn't really follow the story all that much. It was really hard for me to follow the story. I just knew that there were 2 factions fighting each other in a war in Africa, and the Jackal was somehow involved in that. Speaking of the Jackal, I didn't understand a word he said because, oh my god, he spoke fast. He spoke fast. I didn't like the Jackal's voice actor at all. He would just speak one line after another, no emotion, just complete monotone right after the next. Voom, voom, voom. Sentence done. Yeah. I did not like the story for this game. It was hard to get... It was hard for me to complete it. Considering that Far Cry 5 at the time was my favorite Far Cry game. Yeah. Yeah. It was hard for me to get into it. Next up is Far Cry 3, which is the game you'll see me playing right now. This personally is my favorite Far Cry game. And yeah, I'll explain it in a second. I see a lot of people say that it's the best Far Cry game. I agree. Yeah, I think it's the best Far Cry game. It has an updated sort of gunplay. The animations are better. The reload animations are better. The purchasing of just anything in this game onwards is much better. I hated how in Far Cry 2 you had to go to a like computer screen thing. I didn't even know what it was. And you had to you had to go to that thing and then purchase the guns, and then there were these weird upgrades. I didn't really get into that. I was just like, new gun, cool. Sounds good. But yeah, it does have a bit of updated gunplay, which I like. I like updated stuff. It has better graphics, and I think the graphics, in this game are actually some of my favorites. Some of my favorite. Just because of the cell shade. I think that's really cool. I'm used to playing games with a cell shade. I play a lot of Borderlands 2 and 3, and I did play 1. But yeah, I do think the graphics are a cool little touch. I've seen a couple people who don't like the less realistic graphics, but I mean, that's kind of up to personal opinion. The progression is better in this game. I like how you get to do other stuff. Like, there's a lot more things that you can do in this game than in Far Cry 2. Far Cry 2, you just kind of went around doing story missions, so it was a really short game. You could do the occasional or side mission, but it really wasn't worth it. Unless you wanted to unlock more guns from the gunsmith dude, which would be the only thing that I did. The story progression is also much better. It has a typical video game story where it's just one mission after the next, and there's chances to do open world stuff in between each mission. It also has an amazing story. The story for this game is incredible. The villains are great. The characters are not bad. It's just got amazing twists and turns. Yeah, it's amazing. The later end of the game is not as good, but it's still worth it. Next up is Far Cry 4, and this is... The Far Cry 4 one is going to be the shortest. I can already tell. It's just more Far Cry 3, to be honest. It's got the same... I think it runs on the same engine. I'm pretty sure it runs on the same engine. But it's got the same sort of gunplay, same sort of, not graphics, but it does have more realistic graphics. It takes a more realistic approach. So instead of having that cell shade that Far Cry 3 had, it's got more realistic graphics. It does have this weird, like, tint to everything. I don't really know what it is. It appears in Assassin's Creed Revelations as well, but I don't really know what to describe it as. It just makes the entire world look shiny. So yeah, overall it's just more Far Cry 3. It has a cool location. I really like Kyrat, actually. I think that's a really cool location. I like mountainous biomes, and oh my god, did I love the Himalayas. The Himalayas, best location there by far. Except for Northern Kyrat. Northern Kyrat was pretty cool, I won't lie. The story is fine. It has an okay story. Like, there's nothing special about it. It's just you, one-man armying your way to the top of Pagan Min's hierarchy, and then eventually killing him. It's not a very interesting story. The characters are kind of unlikable, but overall, Ajay is pretty cool. Willis Huntley is in it too, so that's always a redeeming factor. So yeah, that's kind of cool. Lastly, we're going to take a look at Far Cry 5, which made a massive change to the series. It changed from, the story is really not a story, it's more of open world missions. And the graphics changed, the progression changed, obviously the story changed, and the location changed, but it was a massive turn for the series, which some people, I've seen people hate on Far Cry 5 because it took such a massive change, but I don't think it hurt the series in any way. Do I think it made it better? I don't know. I like the open world progression system that it has. It's speaking of the progression, it's got a really cool progression where you do specific story missions that you can do in any order. They're mainly just side missions that count for story progress, which are really cool. So, that's something. It gives you a chance to just, like, not really focus on the story, and you help other people out, which is cool. It's not really focusing on the deputy saving Hope County and, like, killing the seeds. It's more focused on helping other people regain their part of Hope County. So it's kind of like putting a puzzle together. You help other people put their piece on the board so that then other people can connect to that puzzle piece, and then you eventually create Hope County, which is really cool. It has some of the best gunplay in the entire series. I do like, yeah, it's got some of the best gunplay. That's just the best way to say it. I hate how it takes the 2-inch slide from COD. That's my little nickname for it. It's where you don't slide hardly at all. You barely slide in any of the Far Cry games, which is... Maybe I'm just used to Borderlands 3, where you slide quite a ways, but still. Slide is slide, and I like slides. It's got cool guns, although I despise the ARC with all of my heart. But overall, gunplay is really fun. You can never really go wrong with Far Cry 5's gunplay. It's got amazing graphics. I love the graphics in Far Cry 5. It's one of my favorite locations. A, because of the graphics, and B, because I've been to Montana, and Montana is beautiful, and so is Far Cry 5. Developers nailed down the graphics, and just all of Hope County. They pretty much included every bit of Montana into Hope County, which I think was really cool. There's also lots of side content, and if you know me, you know that I love side content. Side content is some of my favorite stuff ever. It took me, 22 hours to beat Far Cry 4, because of all the side content. Yeah. I love side content. Side content is some of my favorite stuff in any video game. It doesn't really matter what it is. If it gives me a worthwhile reward, then I'm up for it. Although some of the side content can get pretty repetitive, I've found that most of the time, outposts in Far Cry 5 are really different from each other. Yeah, most of them are not the same. You just kind of, well, it's pretty self-explanatory. You just take out the alarms and kill everybody, try not to get detected, and yeah. This was a shorter video than I anticipated, but, it's cool. So yeah, that is my full review of the 4 main series games in the Far Cry franchise. If you guys do want to see a full review of every game, every Ubisoft game, every Ubisoft Far Cry game, I'm just taking steps up, then comment down below and tell me that you do. If you guys do have a different opinion on this, then let me know. And before we end today, I want to give a full... I'm actually going to give a numbered value of each Far Cry game out of 10. So, starting off with Far Cry 2, I'd say it's a solid 6.5 to 7 out of 10. I know a lot of you guys are going to say, oh my gosh, Far Cry 2 was so amazing. In this day and age, it's kind of fallen behind. I didn't really enjoy it that much, and I played it pretty recently. Yeah. I didn't, like I said, I didn't really like it that much. I feel like the modern games are better. Far Cry 3, I'm not even gonna lie, 10 out of 10. Really, really, really solid game. I would play this game 10 times over if I wanted to, and I can. It is such an amazing game. I love this game. Second favorite game ever. And now, moving on, Far Cry 4. I'd say it's a solid 8 out of 10. It's just more of Far Cry 3, but the story is not as good. Also, for the footage, the skip, bro, I just taught you guys how to get down here super quickly. I don't actually know if the zipline goes down there. But let me get back to the actual video itself. Far Cry 4, solid 8 out of 10. It's a good game. Not much to complain about it. Quality of life improvements, but that's really just about it. Far Cry 5, 9 out of 10. I can surely say that Far Cry 5 is a 9 out of 10. I love that game. I have like 70 hours on it. 5 playthroughs completed. No, 4 playthroughs completed. 5th one is in the making. And yeah, it's a great game. I love that game. So yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a like. If you guys really enjoyed, be sure to subscribe, because that'd be awesome. Yeah, you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.